Today we're going to take a look at Panerai reference PAM112, one of the watches in Panerai's historic collection. This brushed stainless steel watch is 44 millimeters in diameter with 24 millimeter lug widths. This time-only watch is easily set by the crown here, and we'll show you how that's done. You pull down this crown lever like so, and now you can wind the watch. Now if you pull the crown out until you hear the click, you can set the time. Like so. When you're done, just push this crown lever back in. Let me show you what that whole assembly looks like. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. Once again, crown lever down. Okay. Just want to point out that this crown guard here is brushed and not polished. For those of you who are interested in minutia. So that's that whole crown guard assembly. Now, this watch has a water resistance rating of 300 meters, so it's perfectly at home in the water. It's protected in the front by sapphire crystal, and as you saw before, the back is also protected by a pane of sapphire. Let's talk a little bit about the movement. This is Panerai caliber OP10, which is essentially a modified Unitas, or rather ETA 6497 pocket watch movement. It's a 17 joule movement with a power reserve of 56 hours, and it's manual wound. Beats at 21,600 beats per hour. Now, Panerai modified this movement by, number one, adding a swan neck regulator. And you could see that here. It's that little piece of metal that's pressing up against the index. That's the swan neck regulator. And they also gave the movement new bridges. Furthermore, the bridges have the Panerai logo engraved on it, which you can see there. Now, some may argue that this movement is rather pedestrian, but personally, I like this movement. While not the fanciest movement out there, it's very reliable, probably easy to service, and offers good accuracy. I can't tell you exactly how accurate my watch is, but I'm assuming it's a little bit on the plus side, because every time I look at the watch, it's pretty much at the time that I've set it, or maybe just a little bit ahead. Now, let's talk a little bit about straps. You can't really talk about Panerai watches without talking about straps. There's a whole secondary market for such straps. The great thing about these watches is that every time you change the strap, it's almost like getting a new watch. It adds just a little bit of a different look. I just want to point out this strap is actually very new. I got this a few days ago. And prior to this, I was wearing the OEM strap, which was black leather, and it had a different buckle as well. It had a so-called thumbnail buckle as opposed to this pre-V buckle, which is actually a more vintagey Panerai buckle. Gives it a little bit more of a authentic vintage look. Now the way you change straps is very simple. Panerai supplies a 1.4 millimeter head screwdriver. And what you do is that you unscrew this, and then the spring bar comes out. Now, the spring bar is enclosed by a small cylindrical tube, and then you remove that as well. So after you remove those two parts, you take the new strap, you put that little tube inside your strap, put the strap between the lugs, stick the spring bar back in, and just screw it back in. Very easily done. So I want to show you the back again, and we'll take a look at some of those numbers there and some of the writing. You see here, Officine Panerai. Over here you could see a little fish symbol followed by the numbers 300M, which is the 300 meter water resistance. Tells you that stainless steel. I confess I don't know what this OP number stands for, nor do I know what this PB number stands for. But this set of numbers, I know. See where it says G0550/1200? This indicates that this is a G series model 1112, which was produced in 2004. There were 1,200 such models created, and apparently this is the 550th model. That's an interesting bit of information about the watch. Every series that Panerai produces is usually, the numbers aren't usually very great. So it makes these watches, although not rare, I guess a little bit less ubiquitous than some of the other big name watches out there. So you see them, but you don't see a lot of them, like in the wild. Overall, it's a very, very fun watch to wear. When it first came out, 44 millimeters was shockingly large, but in this day and age, it's fairly common now. And it looks good on men and women. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. All your comments are appreciated, and thank you very much for watching. Bye now.